Alright, hello and welcome to another Northern Idaho voiceover video, trademarked. And today we're going to be taking on Classy Whale's Build a REM contest, in which we are doing it in Chicago. Alright, so my proposal for the Chicago REM is running along the Waukesha subdivision out of O'Hare Airport, then following North Avenue, and then Canal, then running over to the Rock Island District on its way out of Chicago, where it will then branch into three at 63rd Street, with one taking over the West 63rd branch of the Green Line, the second running down and taking over the Rock Island's Beverly branch, and the final one running along the Norfolk Southern Chicago line to 93rd Street, South Chicago. So in terms of length, in total it will run 43.684 miles, including all of the branches and the main line, with the main line running 26.25 miles from O'Hare to 63rd Street, the Beverly branch running 9.75 miles down to Blue Island, Vermont Avenue, the 63rd Street branch running just under 2 miles to Ashland 63rd, and the South Chicago branch running 5.75 miles to 93rd Street. And for the name, I propose calling it the Southside-O'Hare Express, or SOX for short, as the line will be running past the guaranteed rate field for where the White Sox play. And on the map, I do propose having it either as white or a light gray, depending on the background of the map. Alright, in terms of stations, we'll have it starting at O'Hare with a transfer to the Blue Line and also serving most of the terminals. Then move to Terminal 5, which will get its own station for better service to Terminal 5. Then we'll move on to the above the North Central service with stops at Rosemont, Schiller Park, and Franklin Park, which will serve the existing metro stations. Then we'll stop at Grand and 5th Triton College before moving on to North Avenue, with stops at Harlem, Austin, Cicero, Pulaski, with transfer service to the Milwaukee District North and West lines, and the North Central service of Metra, which I also propose adding a station for those lines for this transfer. Then Humboldt Park, Damon with the transfer to the Blue Line, and North and Clybourne with the transfer to the Red Line. And I would also propose at reopening the Halstead station on the Brown and Purple lines to also have it transferred to those lines. Then it'll turn south and serve Ogilvie Transportation Center, with a connection to Clinton on the pink and green lines. Then we'll serve Union Station. Then Harrison with a transfer to Clinton on the Blue Line. And then Roosevelt. And 16th Street, Pingtom Park with a transfer to the Rock Island District. And I would also propose having a station for the Southwest service because of the plan to reroute that to LaSalle Street Station. Then we'll stop at Cermak Chinatown with a transfer to the Red Line, as well as I propose having a corridor to Cermak McCormick Place for a transfer to the Green Line. Then Sox 35th with another transfer to the Red Line and another corridor to, this time, 35th Bronzeville IIT on the Green Line, as well as a transfer to the Rock Island District. Then 63rd and Harvard with a transfer to the Red Line. And at this point, the line will split with first the West 63rd branch, which will see some changes from the current Green Line service, as I propose reopening Little Englewood Station to have another transfer to the Southwest service. And as that station is further east than the current Halstead station, I also propose adding Racine. Then that branch will terminate at Ashland 63rd, which is the current terminus of that branch. Then the middle and main branch of the line would be the Beverly branch, with stops at 69th and 79th, which I also propose adding to the Rock Island District. Then stopping at the current Gresham Station on the Rock Island District, where we'll then take over the Rock Island District's Beverly branch and serve all of its current stations to Blue Island, Vermont Street, where this branch will end, also with a transfer to the Rock Island District and Metro Electric. Then the final branch, if my mouse will work, the final branch will be the South Chicago branch, which will follow along the Norfolk Southern Chicago subdivision, with stops at King Drive, 75th Street Grand Crossing, with the transfer to Metro Electric, then 83rd Street, 87th Street, and will end at South Chicago 93rd Street with another transfer to Metro Electric. So in terms of the reroutes to lines, so I've already mentioned a couple transfer stations that don't currently exist that I would like to see exist. And as well as for the Rock Island District, since this line will be taking over the Beverly branch, that will mean more trains will be able to run on the main line, hopefully as far as Joliet, but this is kind of out of the scope of the video, so just wherever Metro sees fit. As well as, now that the Green Line does not have two branches to handle at the southern end, this will mean more trains onto the Cottage Grove branch. And because Cottage Grove is not a very good terminal, I propose re-extending the Green Line back to Jackson Park. So to one, serve more places and also be able to build a more efficient terminal for the Green Line. Alright, thank you for watching this proposal, and I know this is pretty different from the rest of my content, but hopefully you like this kind of change in style, and hopefully you'll be able to see more videos from me in the future. So remember to like and subscribe, and thank you to Classy Whale for hosting this video contest.
He hasn't fed me in weeks.
You, and I'm so sorry.